What's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to be doing my first comment suggestion. So I've been trying to incentivize people to put comments on my videos because I'm trying to get more engagement and build a Pokemon community here on my channel. And Reiner2424 commented on my video suggesting that I switch out my Alakazam's knockoff Psychic Fire Punch Ice Punch set for a knockoff Psychic Fire Punch and Recover set. So I switched that up. He had also suggested that I get rid of Rest on Claydol for Explosion to deal with another Snorlax matchup, but I instead decided to keep my defensive Claydol and just replace Psychic with Ice Beam, because if I'm getting rid of Ice coverage on Alakazam, I want Ice coverage on Claydol because my Blissey and my Suicune, neither of which have an Ice move, so it's good in a tier with Flygon and Salamence to at least have one Pokemon that has Ice coverage. So yeah, I'm just going to get into a game here and try it out. I already tested this set the other day, and I gotta say it worked pretty well, so hopefully it works pretty well today as well. Lead Raikou, which is very funny considering my video yesterday I was talking about how Raikou and Registeel rose to OU, and this might be the lead set that has Toxic on it, so that's interesting. In case he has Hidden Power Ice, I'm just going to switch out here. I don't want to risk it. But because he pivoted, he probably had HP Grass, I would guess. Just going to go for a Seismic Toss here. Definitely a more offensive Claydol because that speed. I'm 160 speed, so... never mind. It doesn't have to be offensive because mine is 167 speed, so it's just probably not a minus speed nature, if I were to guess. Alright, just going to switch out into my own Claydol here because I have Ice Beam, as he goes for Earthquake. He may opt to go for Explosion here, which is fine. Claydol versus Claydol is a fine trade, in my opinion, especially considering if he's lead Raikou, I kind of doubt he has a Skarmory on his team. I could be mistaken, but usually on lead Raikou teams, it's more of a Calm Mind spam offense, which, you know, considering he has Suicune double dog offense, that's probably what it is. Which is ironic because in GSC and Gen 2, if you see Raikou and Suicune on the same team, they both run Rest Talk and it's on a more stall team. Speaking of Gen 2, I know the last couple days I've been playing more Gen 3, but there's just been big news in Gen 3 with Raikou and Steelix's, Raikou and Registeel's rise to OU. It's been kind of just in my mind, and I've been more apt to play it because things are going on in the tier, but either later today or tomorrow I'm going to get back into GSC. I have a Gen 2 Kingdra video where I'm playing a Kingdra stall team, which if you're familiar with my content here on YouTube, I'm not much of a stall person at all. Most of my teams are very offensive. This team's more of a balanced team because it's got Blissey, Claydol, and a defensive Salamence, but even on this team I got Calm Mind Suicune, max special attack, max speed Alakazam, and an offensive Snorlax set. I'm just gonna soft both here. But yeah, that Kingdra video will be really interesting, so if you're into Gen 2 content or if you like Kingdra, definitely check that one out once it drops on my channel. And like previously mentioned, I don't know when I'm going to upload it, but probably either later tonight or tomorrow. But definitely soon. I'm just going to switch out and Roar here. Just because I don't know if he's Roar Suicune, so if he got up to +4, that could have been really annoying for me. And of course I Roar in the one Pokemon that checks me. I really hope this isn't Toxic because, if he subbed up and Toxic me, that'd be annoying. Because I'd have to spam Seismic Toss behind a sub, and then, he could pivot in his Suicune. I'm just going to switch an Alakazam here and try to get a knockoff off. I'm just going to get the knockoff because I have pretty decent special bulk. I should live one serve. Keyword is should. Yeah. I knew I'd live one serve, and because Alakazam is super fast, I can come in later and recover. On my old Alakazam set where I was running just 4 attacks, I would not have come in and did that because I wouldn't have recover to heal up. But because of Reiner2424's suggestion of me using recover, I'm able to come in and get more knockoffs because of the fact that I have recovery move, which that in itself is very beneficial. But I gotta say, when I was testing the other day with that switch, it was before I put Ice Beam on Claydol, so I had just gotten rid of Ice Punch on Alakazam, and I didn't have ice coverage, and I noticed that, like Dragon Dance, a Dragon Dance Salamence was like setting up on me, and I couldn't take it out with my Alakazam because I just had Psychic, and I was kind of like, yikes. But yeah, now that I have Ice Beam on Claydol, I'm good, especially because this is a defensive Claydol set, so even if Salamence boosts up, I can counter it fairly well. Also, that Suicune's really low health, and it's paralyzed, so I can probably take that out with like a Seismic Toss or something. I'm just going to switch to my Claydol here. He might just go for Boom, as he just opts to go for Earthquake. I'm just going to go for Earthquake myself, because I think he's probably going to switch in and Suicune and try to get a rest off. Excuse me. And if I get 2 Earthquakes off, I should be able to break through. Because if I go Ice Beam here and he switches out into Suicune, he can just rest, which is very annoying. I say he can rest, but it really depends his Suicune set. If he's has enough HP and defense investment, he'll live. But if he's a more offensive set, he won't live. But considering how much like his damage output and how much damage I've done to him, I'm assuming his Suicune's similar to mine, where it's like a defensive Calm Mind. My opponent's taking a while to take his turn here. But yeah, in case you haven't seen my other game where I played this team, it's Wish, Salamence, Aromatherapy, Blissey to get rid of status ailments, and to cure rest on Suicune and Claydol. Oh, he's back. Yeah, I already revealed that Ice Beam, so I'm just going to go for it. Because I just don't want him to sub up and try to sub pass. That'd be very annoying. This double electric core is really funny because this is something you see in Gen 2 a lot. Raikou and Zapdos on the same team. Now in Gen 2, Raikou, Zapdos, and Suicune wouldn't be on the same team because Raikou, Zapdos is usually an offensive pairing, with one of them being like an offensive set, and then the other one usually being a Rest Talk set. Yeah, I'm just going to go for another Ice Beam here and then just go for Rest, as I should be able to live another one. Ooh. I'm just going to switch into Blissey because I might not live the next one. His last Hidden Power Ice did 36, and even though I have 37 and could live, if he gets a higher roll, I'm dead. So I'm just going to go for a Seismic Toss here as he goes Claydol. I don't think his Claydol has anything to do against my Claydol, so I'll just switch it in. If he blows up, he blows up. If he doesn't blow up, I'll rest. Yeah, we'll just go from there. Part of me really wants the Seismic Toss, but risking Blissey, there's no point, especially when you're facing a Raikou, a Suicune, and a Zapdos. Like, I need to keep my Blissey alive for all these special attackers. I'm not gonna lie though, my Snorlax looks really good here. Like, once I take out some things like Claydol that could explode on me, like my Snorlax is gonna go crazy. Because like Earthquake after a Curse is just blowing through Raikou. Return even without +1 probably takes out Zapdos, and Return without +1 takes out Suicune from that range. Because my Snorlax has a lot of attack investment. Most of my IVs are in HP and attack, so it's more of an offensive curse. My opponent's probably just going to run out of time here. I don't know if he keeps disconnecting or if he just really needs to take like 10 minutes to decide what play he's going to make, but I think this is going to be GG's. Well, I'm glad I could show off that viewer suggestion with the recover here on Alakazam with, I I didn't do a lot this game with Alakazam, but the fact that I could come in and knock off without having to worry about my health as much is pretty cool. Also, just while I'm waiting for the game to start, I'm just going to show off the rest of this team in case you didn't see all these sets. Mixed defensive Claydol, Bold Roar Suicune as the phaser of the team, and Calm Mind as the late game win condition. Knockoff for utility, an offensive set with a cover. And then Snorlax is Curse 3 attacks. I'm just going to go Flamethrower here. A lot of times Mixed Salamence runs Flamethrower, so I can kind of LARP as being Mixed Elements, which is Flamethrower or Fire Blast, Dragon Claw, Hidden Power Grass, and Brick Break. But in reality, I am not that set at all. I'm a defensive set with Wish, Protect, Toxic, Flamethrower. But I digress. Alright, just going to go into Blissey here. As he goes for Protect. I'm just going to go for Seismic Toss as he just goes for another Protect. Okay. My team doesn't exactly have great counters to Swampert. That's another reason why Knockoff's so good, is if I get Swampert on the switch with a Knockoff, him not having leftovers makes it harder for him to recover off HP by just spamming Protect. Just going to go for another Seismic Toss here. I'm just going to let him get the spike up. I'm just going to go for Thunder Wave. A lot of times these kind of teams with Lead Fortress have a Pursuit Tar, which is really annoying for my team considering I have a Claydol and I also have an Alakazam, meaning I have two Pokemon that don't exactly appreciate Pursuit Tar. Especially now that Claydol is basically dead. Like, the only way I'm going to be able to get a spin-off is that if that set on Swampert is incredibly slow, which is very frustrating. He's probably going to go for Will-O-Wisp here. Nope, just goes for probably Hidden Power Grass. I'm just going to go back hard into Claydol, hoping I can get a spin-off. My Claydol has 167 speed, so unless it's a very fast Blissey, I'm going to outspeed. Because my Blissey has some speed investment, and even with some speed investment, I'm 160. So I should be able to get the Rapid Spin off here. I'm going to die, but that's fine. Claydol did his job. Claydol got rid of spikes, which is his whole goal. Especially for my more balanced team, which really doesn't like spikes. Especially my win condition, Snorlax doesn't like switching it on spikes. It really likes being able to come into full health. I'm just going to go into Alakazam. I'm going to get a free knockoff on someone. And if he gets me with a status move, I've synchronized, so he'll be status 2. I get Blissey doesn't care about status because of Natural Cure, but I don't care about status either because I have Aromatherapy. And yeah, I'm going to get that knockoff off. And even though knockoff only does 3%, it's not about the percent of damage. It's the fact that when I'm setting up with Curse Snorlax later, I'll be able to break through easier. And now I'm just going to go right for Blissey and just Aromatherapy while he's in here paralyzed. I'll just go for a Seismic Toss first, as he's probably going to waste a Thunder Wave on me. Yep, very predictable. I'm just going to use Aromatherapy on the switch out to Swampert. Go figure. It would have been a real high IQ play if I was switching Alakazam there to knock off Swampert, but being paralyzed, I don't want to take an Earthquake, to be honest, even with Recover. I'm just going to stay in Seismic Toss. This is definitely a very defensive Swampert because I get Ice Beam's not going to do much into Blissey, but his Ice Beam basically did like 7% damage, I think. And his Earthquake's not even doing that much. His Earthquake onto a low defensive Blissey only did 32. So this is definitely a very defensive Swampert, especially because you're slower than Blissey too. Oh, he froze me. That's so annoying. It's so annoying. I didn't want to have to reveal Suicune this early, but he kind of left me no choice. Another Raikou. Raikou rises to OU, and we see him 2 games in a row. Very nice. Subset. Hopefully it's not subtoxic, or this might be pretty annoying. I mean, it's less annoying in the sense I have aromatherapy, but still. Subtoxic is the only set that actually bothers us. Blissey at all. I feel like this Weezing is just going to blow up. I'm just going to go for Thunder Wave. Honestly, he went for a Will-O-Wisp. That's not near as bad as blowing up in my face. I'm just going to go for soft-boiled here as he switches out to his own Blissey. I'm just going to switch in Snorlax. I'm going to try setting up here. Never mind, he went to Weezing. Weezing can burn me or blow up. I'm going to go Suicune. I went Suicune instead of Blissey because I don't really want my Blissey blown up because Blissey can counter his Raikou, counter his Moltres, which are both special attackers, counter his own Blissey because he doesn't have leftovers, and can basically take out Swampert with 2 Seismic Tosses at that health. So yeah. I like you want to serve. The fact my Surf did more damage than his Thunderbolt is crazy. That just shows you one of the downsides of Raikou is he's incredibly frail. Very offensively potent, but incredibly frail. Alright. Just going to go for a Seismic Toss here. No need to predict. And I'm always going... You know what? I'll actually go Alakazam into this, because I don't mind if Alakazam gets blown up, to be honest. Yeah. Alakazam did his part. He knocked off leftovers from Blissey. Not to mention my own Blissey can basically just win the game with Seismic Toss. And that's not even an exaggeration. I mean, it'd be very boring if I just stay in Blissey the whole time, but unironically, my Blissey just walls this whole team. He has 2 special attackers, a defensive Swampert that's almost dead, and a Blissey with no leftovers. But I'll make it more fun and interesting for you guys. I'm going to try to win the game with Snorlax, because I get that's more fun and engaging than me just spamming Seismic Tosses. I really don't care about the paralysis that much because I'm cursed, so I'm going to be slow as hell anyways. And yeah, I'm just going to go for return here. The only thing I was hoping was that in the off chance that he had Focus Punch as the last move, Focus Punch into a Para would have been very annoying. Just going to go Earthquake. Yeah, he's just banking on me getting paralyzed. And even though I'm not specially defense, like I didn't put much into my special defense, my natural special defense is still 258, and I have high HP stat. Yes, I win the game there. We'll play one more here. I'm glad I got to have more of a fun win using Snorlax. Like I said, if I wasn't recording this, I would have just been boring and just stayed in with Blissey to get the win. Because realistically, if you're not trying to be fun or engaging, you always just go for whatever the path of least resistance, as they say. Like whatever is the easiest, most surefire way to get the win, you should go for that. Like, you know, no need to risk if you can just have the win in the bag. But that's why, like when I do record, I play a little more risky. And I still play really good. Like most of my recordings and stuff, like I have a pretty good win rate. But I definitely have a lower win rate when I'm recording versus when I'm just playing by myself. Because when I'm playing by myself, even with offensive teams, you know, this team's more of a balanced team. But even with offensive teams, like I'll take the path of least resistance. Like if Explosion isn't the play, because he might have a Gengar, like I'm not going to explode ever, like that kind of thing. He has his own Snorlax, which Snorlax is actually kind of good into my team. That's why that Reiner 24-24 guy suggested I put Explosion on Claydol instead of Rest. But like I said, I want to have that ice coverage still. And he might try to curse up here, so I'm going to go for Focus Punch. He switches out. I mean, I'm pretty offensive, so that did a decent amount. Not great, but... Oh, I don't really like Metagross either. His team's pretty good into my team, not going to lie. That's definitely banded, because never mind. It's leftovers. Holy cow! This is defensive Claydol, and his Meteor Mash did 54%. Yikes. Just going to go for an Earthquake here. Brutal damage. Brutal. Considering he has Zapdos, Heracross, Snorlax, and Metagross, it's looking like he's running kind of a blue offense type structure with a lead Zapdos, so I'm just going to stay in and die here. The reason I'm willing to stay in and die is I really doubt he has a Spiker. I would have seen it by now. And with this kind of offensive structure, I really doubt he has Spikes. I'm going to keep my Claydol alive, though, because if I can come in on like a Snorlax, get a rest off, God forbid, then I'll be able to be back in the game with him. I'm just going to go straight Claydol and hope he misses a move. Try to get a rest off. He got paralyzed. I was very lucky there. I'm going to just hit rest as he switches out. I told you it was a blue offense structure. I'm pretty good at predicting these things. The reason it's referred to as blue offense is that it just has a bunch of Pokemon that are blue. Heracross, Metagross, Magneton, Snorlax. Considering he has Focus Punch and he doesn't have leftovers, he's probably banded. Another thing is too on Heracross is if it's a Swords Dance variant, a lot of times I run Swords Dance, Hidden Power Ghost, and then like Mega Horn. So if he has Focus Punch, he probably doesn't have Brick Break. So it makes it seem dumb staying in Blissey on a fighting type. But if they do have Focus Punch, they most likely can't fit another fighting move. And my opponent just forfeits there. So I hope you guys like this Gen 3 gameplay. Like I said, I'm kind of known more as a GSC player, which is Gen 2, for those who don't know like the terminology. But I'm definitely going to get back to playing some Gen 2. I have that Kingdra Salting I'm going to show off. And yeah, well, I hope you liked the video. Feel free to like and subscribe. And for Reiner2424, I hope you enjoyed me playing with your little move swap there that you commented. Like I've said before, if you guys comment like what movies you want me to try out, or even if you have a PokePaste of like a team that you've created that you might want to see me play on this channel, I'm willing to do that. And yeah, I get that's just a small tweak of one move, but you saw how it came in handy there against like coming in on Suicune and knocking off after the Suicune boosted. That's not something I would have done if I didn't have Recover. So I really hope you enjoy the game. And like I said, if you enjoy, feel free to like and subscribe or leave a comment. And that's all.